Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope that everyone is doing okay and feeling fine. The weather is actually quite nice today. For this video right here, we will be talking about oral presentation. We will talk about on the topic of oral presentation, and the things that I mentioned in this video. These are the things that you have to consider, okay? You have to consider for your presentation, for your individual public speaking. Okay, so that is one of your assignments. Which is public speaking. But don't worry, because we're not actually able to see each other. The public speaking part will be done online. You have to record yourself and upload it to YouTube. I will give you guys the guideline later, but the important part is what I will cover in this video are some of the things that you have to consider. Okay, so when it comes to oral presentation, right, you have choices. You ada pilihan. You have choices that you can make. Okay, so the first choice that you have to decide on, the first choice that you have to make is your speech nanti though, your public speech, is it formal or is it informal? Right. So for formal communication, right? So for formal communication, the difference lah, senang cerita, the difference between formal communication and informal communication is in language. Okay, kalau formal communication ni language dia formal. Kalau informal communication, the language is more informal. Alright. So what is the difference between formal and informal language? Well, the difference is actually quite noticeable. Kalau formal communication ni, you can look at the example here. Macam contoh debate, discussion, lectures, interviews, seminars. So these situations right here, they are mostly formal. Okay, dalam meeting, masa you give lecture, masa you go for interview, semua ni adalah formal. So you use formal language. Formal language ni you tend to be polite. It doesn't involve emotion. It doesn't involve personal feelings, yeah? So it's like the textbook tau, macam bahasa dalam textbook. It is very formal, macam doesn't make sense, macam not in real life at all. For example kan, kalau you go to your textbook, biasalah standard, Ali jumpa Abu, and then Abu berkata, mari kita semua pergi makan. So very formal, doesn't seem very real. That's why critics consider it artificial communication. Artificial means that it's not real, it doesn't feel real. However, it still happens. It still happens dalam debate, dalam discussion, dalam lectures. Okay. Alright. The next part is on informal communication. So informal communication is the language that we use every day. Okay, that has no serious purpose. For example, when we have our casual greeting, "Hai, dah makan? Sihat?" Those are very informal. And then private conversation, when you chat, when you gossip, when you discuss about movies or even video games or football matches, those are usually informal. Informal communication, what makes it different is that it is natural. It is natural and it is free flow, no rules, no restriction, no formality. So it reflects on you lah. The way you communicate ni, the way you talk, it reflects on you. Kalau you punya bahasa tu kasau, maknanya you ni orang yang kasau lah. Right. So it reflects on who you are. So be aware. The one small thing that differentiates between formal and informal presentation and communication is the language again. So again, formal language, it feels fake. formal language feels artificial, it feels fake. However, it still happens. It feels like it's not real, but it still happens. Okay. Informal communication is more relaxed, it is natural. Alright, so that's the difference between formal and informal communication. Now let's go to the second choice that you have to make. Okay, tadi first choice tadi, masa you nak bagi your public speaking ni nanti kan, you have to decide you nak bagi formal presentation ke atau nak bagi informal. Okay, and then the second choice that you have to make is this one right here. Is the types of speech delivery. Okay, how do you want to deliver the type of speech? Is it the type of speech ni, is it informative, is it demonstrative, or is it persuasive? Okay, so you ada tiga pilihan ni. Okay, so ulang suara, formal or informal. Okay, two first choice that you have to make. And then the second choice that you have to make is your speech informative, demonstrative, or persuasive? Okay, you ada pilihan. So let's go one by one first and then you decide. Okay, the first type of speech is informative. So informative ni is basically you want to provide interesting and useful information to your audience. So you just want to share something, an interesting information. That's why it is called informative. Right, so for example here we have a teacher informing students about earthquakes. Okay, so maybe you want to share information about banjir, recent flooding kan, or maybe you want to share information about an interesting destination, macam contoh Langkawi ke, Korea ke, right? That would be interesting. And then student talking about her research is informative. A CEO explaining the features of a new product, like for example, I have a new product that I want to share. So that's an informative type of speech. Okay, right, so again, informative speech ni, you just want to share new information, right? And then the next one is demonstrative. So demonstrative ni, it is similar, quite similar to informative speech. However, you must also involve demonstration. You must involve some kind of demonstration. For example, how to start your own YouTube channel. So nanti masa public speaking tu, you have to show lah to everyone. Okay, how do you start your own YouTube channel? First, you have to create a Google account, and then you have to upload a video, and then so on and so forth. Or maybe it can also be you want to teach your audience, you want to demonstrate to them how to bake a cake. Okay, maybe throughout the PKP ni, you stayed at home, you learn how to bake a cake. So you want to share with your audience, you want to demonstrate to them, okay, how can you make cakes. Macam sekarang ni, cake yang popular, we have cake tornado. Oh, apa lagi, ada lagi nama pelik-pelik, I just don't remember. Alright, so how to do just about anything. Maybe how to repair a computer, how to repair a PC, how to change fuel, fuel filter, oil filter, engine oil, all those sort of things. Anything that you can demonstrate, you can record the video doing that, and then you can share it with us. Okay, alright, and then the next part is, the next type of speech that you can do is persuasive. Okay, macam informative ni, you just want to inform kan, you nak bagi information. Demonstrative ni, you nak demonstrate something you want to teach the audience. Persuasive ni, you want to persuade the audience. You want to persuade your audience to change their way of thinking. Okay, katalah sebelum ni your audience ni suka warna merah, so you want to persuade your audience to like warna biru pula. Alright, for example here we have some examples. Becoming an organ donor. So not everyone is an organ donor, so you want to persuade your audience, okay, kita kena derma organ, kita kena derma darah, for example kan. Or okay, maybe you want to also persuade your audience, improve your health through better eating. Okay, so you persuade your audience, oh kita kena makan dengan bijak, pilih makanan yang baik, and all those sort of things. And then maybe the next one is television violence is negatively influencing our children. So you tell your audience, oh, we have too much violence on TV. It is influencing our children. Okay, don't let your children watch TV. Okay, so that's how you go about persuasive speech. Okay, so again, all right, let's go from the top. The first choice that you have to make, formal or informal. The second choice that you have to make is informative atau demonstrative atau persuasive. Okay. And then entertaining. I mean, entertaining is not something that I allow my student to do for their public speaking. Entertaining is basically if you are familiar, in Western countries there is a job. There are people who work as comedians. So basically they will go on stage and then they will tell jokes. It's like Raja Lawak lah. Ya, kalau kat Malaysia ni kita ada Raja Lawak. Alright. So I'm not allowing my students to do that for their public speaking. So untuk you guys, you only have 3 choices here: informative, demonstrative atau persuasive. And then lastly, we have the methods of delivery. Is it an impromptu speech, manuscript, memorized, or extemporaneous? So all these things right here we will discuss online together later. Alright, so I hope that is clear. If you have any question, please ask in the Google Classroom. Okay, bye.